Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode on Grammar Genius with me, Imran Sidi Ahmad. In today's episode, we are going to look at active voice versus passive voice. Now, what is active voice? When we're talking about active voice, we are simply talking about a situation whereby the focus of that particular sentence or conversation is mainly on the performer of the action, all right, the doer of the action. For instance, we also have the structure of such active voice. We have subject plus verb plus object. This is the structure that active voice follows. All right. For instance, she bought a book. She bought a book. In this sentence, she bought a book. The emphasis, or rather the focus of this particular sentence is on the doer of the action, which is she. She. All right. Who bought the book? She. All right. So here the emphasis is on she. Another example is they are building a new house. They are building a new house. The emphasis in this structure also is on the subject, they. The cat chased the mouse. The cat chased the mouse. So you see also in this sentence, the emphasis is on the subject, right? The active voice is mainly straightforward, easy to understand, and it is used in learning process in classrooms, right? For easier understanding. So here we have subject, verb, object. Now take note of this. The subject here of the sentence performs the action. All right? So the emphasis is on the doer of the action, performer of the action, all right, the subject of the sentence. Also, active voice is direct, clear, and concise, just like what I've said. Now, what is a passive voice? A passive voice is typically the opposite of an active voice. What does it do? Here in active voice, the emphasis is on the subject, the doer of the action, whereas in passive voice, the emphasis or the focus is on what? The object. All right? Rather than the subject. The emphasis here is what? On the object that the action falls upon. All right, you understand more. The structure also is the opposite of the active. There we have subject, then verb, then object. But here we have object, then we have verb to be, infinitive verb to be. All right. It changes. It's like a chameleon. It has eight different kinds. The infinitive verb to be. We'll have that in a different presentation for clearer understanding. And then after the infinitive verb to be, then plus the past participle of the main verb used. Then we're going to add by. Then we're going to add the subject. This subject we have sometimes here, meaning sometimes we can choose to write the subject and sometimes you can choose to eliminate and do away without the subject. We understand. Let's have the example. A book was bought by her. In our previous example, in the active voice, we have she bought a book. All right. She bought a book. Now here we have a book was bought by her. Now look at this. Object first, we have object. Verb to be, infinitive verb. I told you it changes like a chameleon. It has 8 different kinds. From the kinds, we have what? Its past tense was here. Then our verb bought is here, past participle of it. All right, past participle of the main verb. The verb is buy, so the past participle of it is bought. Then we're going to have what? Buy, which is this. And then we're going to have our subject. This is the subject in object position. If this her were to be in subject position, it will be she. Since she is in subject object position, then it will be her. All right. A book was bought by her. I hope you've grasped the idea behind this arrangement. Now, here we said optional, and here we said sometimes. In our active example, active voice, we have they are building a new house. So this same example is here. A new house is being built. A new house is being built. Here we have sometimes optional subject. So if we want, we can add by. We can also add them. Since we said they are, here they will be by them. Them will be the subject in object position, right? Pronoun in object position, right? By them. Also here is the pronoun in object position of the feminine gender. So here we have a new house, which happens to be the object, and then the verb infinitive to be is being infinitive. Since we are talking about, we already have verb, auxiliary verb there. We have there, so we're going to add our infinitive before the main verb here. They are building a new house. Since we're talking about plural, they are. So now, since the object is singular, the verb will change to singular also. A new house is. All right. The what? Singular form of the plural are is used here. And then building, since we're going to have infinitive verb to be, then this is it, being. Then we have our house and building, right? Building, so the past participle will be built. A new house is being built. All right, this built is the main verb. And then if we want to add the subject in the object position, then we'll include by and them. So this is it. The mouse was chased by the cat. The mouse was chased by the cat. You see, the cat chased the mouse. So now we have the mouse, then we have our infinitive verb to be, the past tense was, then chased, then we have our by, then the cat subject. So this is it. So the subject in passive voice receives the action. All right, whereas in active voice the object receives the action, but here in passive voice the subject here, which in active voice it usually comes first but here last, so this receiving the action. Also passive voice is less clear and a bit less direct, sometimes even more difficult to understand, especially when you omit the subject in the object position. Let's proceed. Comparison. Now let's compare between the active voice and passive voice. Active voice emphasizes the subject performing the action, meaning what? The doer of the action, the one doing the action, is the emphasis of what? The active voice. While passive voice emphasizes the action itself or the recipient of the action, meaning what? The object receiving the action. That's the emphasis of the passive voice. For example, he wrote the letter. This is active voice. He wrote the letter. The team won the match. She bakes delicious cookies. These examples are active voice. Now let's see them in passive. The letter was written by him. Plural pronoun in what? Subject position, pronoun in object position. The letter, object. We have our infinitive verb, don't forget, to be. The past tense will be was. And then the past participle of write will be written. Then we have our by, then our what? Subject. The team won the match. This is it. The match was won by the team. Infinitive verb to be, the past tense, and then we have our by, and this is what? The past participle. And then the team. Simple as that. Delicious cookies are baked. Infinitive verb to be, here we have the present, since the thing here, the idea is she bakes delicious cookies, meaning it's habitual, it's her daily job, it's her daily routine, it's what she does. So now the infinitive verb to be will be present infinitive verb, which will be are, since we are talking about delicious cookies. All right, they will be are baked, past participle, plus by, then plus her, which will be the pronoun in object position. So now on emphasis and clarity. You see, on emphasis, we have active voice emphasizing the subject doing the action, whereas passive voice emphasizes the object receiving the action. We've explained that earlier. Now on clarity, active voice tends to be clearer and more direct, making it preferable in most cases, particularly for learners. When you are learning a language, it's best if you use active voice, because passive voice can sometimes obscure the subject, remove the subject, do away with it, and also make that statement to be a bit ambiguous, particularly on the learner. I'm referring to the learners here. When you're a learner, the passive voice may sometimes seem to be a little bit difficult to understand, to comprehend, particularly when it's being used frequently. So, verb tenses in passive voice. Now, present tense. The room is being cleaned by her every day. Look at this. When you want to change this statement to active voice, it will be she cleans the room every day. She cleans the room every day. She cleans the room every day. So since it's passive, the room is, all right, it should be there. Then this is the what? Infinitive verb to be, all right, here, because it's also in infinitive form, future, all right, and progressive. Then the past participle of clean, clean. Then we have our by, and then her. This is it, the structure. Past tense, all right. The letter was written by my uncle yesterday. If we also want, we can change this to what? Active voice. My uncle wrote the letter yesterday. My uncle wrote the letter yesterday. All right. We have our passive voice here in past tense. The letter, which will be the object, was will be the what? Infinitive verb to be. Written, what? Past participle, our by, then what? The subject. So this is it. Future tense. The results will be announced by the principal tomorrow. The results will be announced by the principal tomorrow. We can also choose to change this into active voice. For instance, The principal will announce the results tomorrow. The principal will announce the results tomorrow. You see? So since it's in the passive voice, it will be the results will. We also have it in the what? Active. Then be, infinitive verb to be is here, announced. All right, past participle, then our by, then the subject. So this is it about the passive voice. These are the forms in which it transforms in the present tense, past tense, and future tense. Now, omission of the doer. In this aspect, we are going to look at how the subject is being omitted. In this example, the cake was baked by Mary. The cake was baked by Mary. By Mary here is in what? Bracket. All right, it's been in bracket, by Mary. So which means what? We can have this statement here. The cake was baked. You see, by Mary is being what? Omitted. We don't have it here. And both statements are correct and grammatically okay. Now, purpose and context. What is the purpose of writing passive, using passive voice, and in what context are we supposed to use it? Formal writing. When we say formal writing, we're simply talking about academic journals or academic research or scientific research. Mainly they use passive voice because the objective there is on the research itself, is on the result. The focus is on the what? Action, all right, rather than the doer of the action. For instance, in previous years, a research was conducted on vaccine on COVID-19. But when the results were out, the attention, the focus was not on those who made the analysis or those who made the research. The attention or the focus was mainly on the result, all right, the action there, all right, not the doers of the action. So you see, we use it in scientific research and academic write-ups. News reporting. Mainly newscasters use passive voice, all right, to emphasize on the action or the person that the action falls upon rather than the doer of the action. And also we use the passive voice so as to avoid blame and responsibility. For example, when you are focusing on the action itself or the person that the action falls upon, you are simply doing away with the blames and responsibilities to fall on the doer of the action. Sentence structure and length. Now, in sentence structure, we've already done that because we know the active voice usually has what? Subject, verb, object structure, whereas the passive voice, it contains what? Object, verb to be, infinitive verb to be, the main verb, all right, then we have by, then we have our what? Subject. We have inflection of verb to be, infinitive verb to be, and then by. That's what we included. That's not there. And then the sentence length, all right, active voice, it contains shorter sentences. It's more direct and very easy to comprehend, whereas passive voice is longer and is more complex. Also, impact on writing. Passive voice can sometimes make writing feel more formal, all right, or detached. So now let's have some exercise. I have some words, some sentences here for you to change either from active voice to passive voice or passive voice to active voice. Here are there are 5 in number. They repaired the car. The teacher will announce the results tomorrow. Someone has already cleaned the room. Mistakes were made during the project execution by the team. The speech was delivered to a crowd of supporters by the politician. So now look at this, examine these sentences carefully, change them from active to passive or passive to active, and write them in the comment section. Now if you have any question, comments or observations, please do write them in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you very much. Goodbye.